Okay, we will call the Board of Safety public meeting agenda to order at 6:02 p.m. And we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will do roll call. Ms. Little?
Here.
Mr. Nagy?
Yes.
Mr. Villalobos? Mr. Caper? Mr. Stick?
Present.
Mr. Brittingham?
Here.
Mr. Wolfney?
Here.
Mr. Mager?
Here.
Mr. Carnahan?
Here.
Mr. Becker?
Here.
Mr. Austin?
Present.
Ms. Hyduk is present. Mr. Bungie?
Here. Present.
Nominations for chairman.
So number one, we will do the elections for chairman. Are there any nominations
I'll
for
nominate.
chairman?
I will nominate Norm.
We have Norman Stick.
And ask if there's any others.
Are there any other nominations for chairman?
Nominations closed.
The nominations are closed
Vote.
and a vote.
Roll call vote.
Roll call vote.
Go ahead and call out the names.
Or-
You call a roll call.
Ms. Little?
Yes.
Mr. Nagy?
Yes.
Mr. Villalobos?
Yes.
Mr. Caper?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Stick?
Yes. Thank you. You did a good job.
Never done that before.
Okay, I'll open up the nominations for vice chairman. Nominations.
I would like to nominate Lester Caper.
Any further nominations? Nominations are closed. Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Little?
Yes.
Mr. Nagy?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Villalobos?
Yes.
Mr. Caper?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Stick?
Yes. Thank you. So now I'll open up for public comment. Public comment once, public comment twice, public comment 3 times. Okay, I'll proceed. Approval of the minutes of December 16th, 2024. Motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Little?
Yes.
Mr. Nagy?
Yes.
Mr. Villalobos?
Yes.
Mr. Caper?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Stick?
Yes. Thank you. VIPS report.
Hello, everyone.
Good evening.
We've got the December 2024 hourly VIPS report. Everybody made some hours for the year, or for the month, and we had total of 8 details, 4 from Faith Church, and then the 2 big ones at Ice Fest, and then 3 call-outs.
That it?
That's it.
As always, thank you for everything that the VIPS do. It's very appreciated.
You're welcome.
Police Department, number 4, communications.
Just included in your packet are a couple of press releases from December involving some arrests and police actions that were posted on our social media, sent to everybody, and posted on some other media sites. So just wanted to include those in the packets for everybody. They're pretty lengthy, so I won't read them. As far as communications, those are the only 2 things I have. One, just for what it's worth, one was a DUI crash with injury, and the other was a DUI with some other involvements. So, and those 2 particular press releases. That's all I have.
Okay, number 5, finances.
Yeah, not a whole lot for the beginning here. So what we had was given to you as well. There's really almost nothing really significant to report. You'll see a vehicle repair and a couple firearms purchases. That's it for...
How are do we have a couple of vehicles that are banged up that need to be repaired yet?
Yeah, I could address that later on when we
Okay, that's
have
fine.
that on the council for equipment and vehicles, yeah.
Okay, number 6, staffing.
So most importantly, everybody is aware that Officer Phil Lewis has retired. And you have a copy of his letter, which reads, "To whom it may concern. I've decided to retire from my position here at the Cedar Lake Police Department. My last day work is December 4th. This retirement is effective December 31st. Cordially, Phil Lewis." And there's a box there to accept that letter.
Okay, can we have a motion to accept Patrolman Lewis's resignation?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Littles?
Yes.
Mr. Nagy?
Yes.
Mr. Villalobos?
Yes.
Mr. Caper?
Yes.
Mr. Stick?
Yes. Okay, the next one, we're gonna have to,
Are you gonna advertise for,
we have been. We're going to meet after, an executive session to, yes, we've been advertising for quite a while.
you've already advertised?
We have been, yes.
Okay.
So we'll, what's the proper word I'm looking for? Forward this to the next meeting. We'll continue the approval, for our next meeting.
So, since it's on the agenda, just for clarity, before we skip it, does that mean that we're still gonna continue to take applications? I'm not quite sure, because we already, I mean, we were already taking applications.
Correct.
We don't need town council approval because it's a vacant spot.
Correct.
The town council policy now is we are advertising for any position until it's filled. So that's up to you guys, but that's what we do.
Well, basically, to answer your, we're due to meet in executive session after the meeting to discuss the hiring of, or direction we're gonna go in for filling the
But this
vacancy.
this B is the approval for hire for the vacancy. It doesn't mean we're going to approve anybody. It means that we are asking to approve it so we can discuss it.
Wasn't it discussed at the last meeting that we were gonna, both fire and police were gonna advertise and then create a list as well? And that any open position that was open, the first person on the list would be hired. I think Carl was even the one that kind of mentioned that.
I believe, yes.
We only have, at this time, what, one police officer to fill?
Yeah. But it'd be nice.
Yeah, one vacant position, yes.
And did the council approve, any more hiring for police this year?
No, we ended up taking the 25th officer that was slated to be hired and took that money and gave that to the officers to help give them that 8.5% pay raise.
But this wouldn't be an additional, would it?
No,
No.
it'd be the 24th.
Okay.
Yeah, this will just be, you know, continued. So, we'll talk about the, officer in our executive session. So, C, other staffing updates?
Pennington's back to work. Milan's in his shadow phase for FTO. He should be released this month. That's all I have on that.
Okay, number 7, training report?
Let's see, is that the whole year's in here? For December, we didn't have any training.
Okay, number 8, equipment.
New vehicles were approved yesterday evening by the council. They were ordered today. We're looking at about an estimated 45 months on delivery. I mean, 45
How many
days,
months?
geez. Days.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what happens when you work
They
18
pay 'em
hours
off
a day.
before you get 'em?
What was, I'm sorry, what was the, how long?
45 days for delivery.
45 days.
So what was ordered? We have
Four
not,
Durangos.
pardon me?
What you approved, 4 Durangos,
What color?
white. They'll be marked.
They're gonna be all for
patrol.
patrol
Yep,
vehicles?
yep.
And we approved Thomas Dodge.
Right.
And that was due to the fact that we had so much trouble getting them through James, and that was part of the reason why we went back to them, and they were pretty reliable at getting these vehicles to us in a timely manner, correct?
Correct.
And I'm sorry, Carl, did you say something about 45 months?
Days.
I said days, I
Okay.
said months because I've been working
He's been working.
around the clock for the last 2
Okay.
years.
Like, get them, okay. 45 days. Got it, thank you.
Okay,
So, are all the other cars in from last year?
I just finally picked up the last car, last week.
Okay.
And it's on the road in service.
Great.
Mhm. So with that being said, these new cars, getting them this early, we'll get them to the outfitter much earlier and be ahead of 120 cars, you know, in that process is the name of the game here. So, hopefully.
okay, we'll go to a B, update on vehicle repairs.
Yeah, so, Pennington's Durango is still being worked on. There's additional issues related to a cut wiring harness in the crash. So really don't know where we're going with that just yet. Have to get some information maybe tomorrow as to what might have to be done, if it might possibly have to be taken to the outfitter if it includes wiring, you know, that was done outside the OEM wiring. So that's that on that one.
Was that the crash that took place on 41?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we're still waiting on the 2 other repairs for the front end damage on the Durango and the damage on the Ram truck. Those are both drivable, you know.
Okay.
So, you know, we're not gonna take them down until they can be fixed at that moment, at that time, to, you know, for obvious reasons. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the 3 main issues.
Okay, we'll move on to number 9, monthly activity report.
So I want to kind of address this all in one, because also included, which we included in the town council, since it was asked for by the town council, our year-end report, review and 5-year report. So that's in your packets. It was a huge effort on Sarah's part. I assisted her with adding some things, and then of course the data coming from Cliff and IT, so kudos to them for their efforts in this report. I'm personally very proud of it. You have it probably just in print form, but it's actually a PowerPoint, and it looks much better on a PowerPoint than it does just in the print form. And I posted this on social media today in a video form, and it'll be on our webpage shortly as well. But a lot of effort put into it, so I hope everybody takes time to look at it and appreciate it. With that being said, I'll read directly from that report. I'm not going to read, I'm not going to read everything that's in it, but I'll read the December activity from that report. So for calls for service in December, we had $597, which gave us a total of 11,505 for the year, at a 31.4 call per day. Statistic, traffic stops, we had 179 for December, a total of 4,762 for the year. For traffic warnings for December, we had 145, 4,425 for the year. For citations, we had 75 in December, a total of 1,867 for the year. So our law incident analysis for December is 416, with a total of 6,919 for the year. Our arrests for December were 20, we had 289 arrests for the year. Traffic offenses for December 27, we had a total of 430 for the year. So that's December. For that, ordinance for December, under warnings for December, we had a total of, that's a longer report, we had a total of 7, and a total of 357 for the year. For the citations for ordinance, we had a total of 24 in December, which gave us 686 for the year. So that's the monthly activity, but just wanted to highlight that report, the effort that went into it, and want to emphasize that if it wasn't for the efforts of the officers, we wouldn't have a report to give. So, you know, it's not just about us putting this together and who put it together and, you know, something to look at. It's about the officers that, you know, are doing the work to, you know, which is what's included in the report. Aside from just a very few clips of, you know, other things that the officers do outside of, you know, writing tickets and arresting people, because that's an important part of their job as well. And very rarely, you know, do people even realize the other things that, you know, our officers do for the community and in the community. And this is, what's in this report is just a very few small things, kind of a synopsis of the year. Just really, I want to give the officers the credit for everything that they do and what's in this report.
They did a very good job on it. It's very, I'm not quite done with it, but it looks very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Our officers, and both police and fire officers, are very much appreciated in this community.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So, let me see here. So that, let me see,
That puts us at policy. 10.
Yep. So, being how that, we're not doing Lexipol anymore, do you feel that it would be maybe meet every quarter, or when, I mean, as far as to talk over or to bring up any kind of policy updates that needs to be done? What's your feelings on that?
Well, with that being said, we actually do have some updates that we plan to review in February. So I think that it's still going to be fairly fluent in respect to, you know, needed changes.
Yeah,
outside of, you know, mandated changes by
correct.
law.
We need to keep, before Lexipol kind of prodded us, but now we kind of got to prod ourselves to make sure we stay up on top of.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
What, Chuck and I weren't here at the last meeting, so I don't know when this transpired, but Lexipol, what is replacing it? What are you going to use now for policy?
we're going to do it ourselves.
We own our policy that Bob Purcell spent like a long time on doing the original Lexipol policy. The town owns that, so we have that.
So we have something in place.
Yes.
All right.
It's just like that, I think the board felt, and Carl and Todd, that some of the updates that we was getting from Lexipol was not really, you know, changing, putting S's on the sentences and this or that, and for what it was what, $19,000?
Well, right around 10 grand per department.
Yeah, so it
20
was,
grand.
we just didn't feel that it was, you know, worth the money to go any farther with it, since both the police and fire department own that policy.
Did we download both of them?
Fire in?
And we have, there's hard copies also.
But it's on the website for, so you can view it?
I'm not quite sure.
It's not on the town website,
No,
no.
not on our website.
The officers can view it, and
The
then,
officers have electronic access to it, yes. just
and
like-
we have hard copies.
And the reason why Chuck and I weren't here at the last one was because we had a town council meeting that we had to deal with.
But it was just something that we felt that it was, you know, a good money-saving point, that it wasn't really worth, you know, what we was paying for it. And, you know, the police department put a lot of time into it, the fire department put a lot of time into it, and, you know, since we own it, so we didn't feel that it was, you know, necessary. There's nothing saying that if, down the road, that if, we can always, you know, they'll always take our money. So, I mean, we're not locked out, but right now, we felt that, it was like saving the town $20,000. So that's why we opted out of it. So, but it's just like that, you know, we're just, my question was, is we gotta maybe meet every quarter or whatever, you know, to make sure that everything is being updated and, you know, you know, a lot of the state stuff or whatever, they're automatically, you know, and the OSHA stuff and whatever for the fire department more, I mean, that's something that's, you follow, you know, so, but that's why we did that.
All right.
So, was we finished with policy updates?
Yeah, I think we covered it.
And then we don't have any others?
No.
Okay, thank you, Carl. Fire department?
Right now, we have no communications. You have our, financial purchase orders and, report, if you have any questions.
Any questions?
I didn't see anything on here. Jumping out at me.
I got one.
Okay.
On, the third, January 3rd, says Lexipol Fire EMS Learning Platform. Spent $3,100.
That's the, training, that's the update, yearly update training cost for our program.
Oh, even if we don't have Lexipol, we still,
We don't, well, Lexipol has policies and they have a training program, so it's separate, but it's the same company.
I just seen Lexipol, that's why I was
Yeah.
confused.
I figured somebody would ask that question.
If I can just jump in too real quick too to clarify, I think it's important. So Police One and Lexipol are the same company. We've been contracted with Police One for training as well. And that's how we found out about Lexipol's policy, side of it. So it's two separate bills, two separate contracts, but we are also still, contracted for the training aspect of it.
And you're using that too on police side?
Oh, we use it all the time, yeah. In fact, that's where all of our state mandated training is at. So that also actually gave us a discount with the Lexipol policy part of it. If we didn't have Police One, we would have paid even more than the $20,000 that we were paying for the policy portion of it.
What's also nice about that, once we get the training update, it also gives the state mandated updates that we can take and update our policies with.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're in essence paying for the policy updates, and then we get them through the training updates, we can do it manually and save the money.
Makes sense.
And training is a real important process with that whole
Yep.
operation.
That top one, $2,000 for miscellaneous supplies needed for the fire department.
It's just
Uh,
cleaning up the mess.
What was that, what was the miscellaneous supplies?
I don't know. I think that's just the budgetary number that's used. I'm not exactly sure what was.
It's been a true value, and I just wondered what, $2,000, that just seemed like a lot of money.
Is that an open PO?
Which GL number are you looking at?
Yeah, this is an open PO for, yeah, we do the same thing as the police department, we have an open PO.
So it,
It's miscellaneous stuff like batteries, tape, just things that's needed around the fire station, garbage bags, salt for the softener.
Okay,
Jennifer likes to have us encumber the money ahead of time for the year, so that, like, that line item, miscellaneous supplies, will be already encumbered, and then she can go back and always take whatever's out of that encumbered line. And it's
So
already,
it's not
wiped
spent
off
yet.
our, it's already, no, some of it isn't. It's
Okay.
already wiped off of our budget, so we know that that's what our budget is going forward on it. So, she likes to do that, she likes to do that with, different types of, like our copier lease and stuff like that as well. Yeah, Riley's parts, stuff like that. Both police and fire, we both do that.
all right.
That's by her request.
So the second one says mats for fire department, $3,500. You're saying that's for the whole year then?
Mats for fire department. Oh, that's for the new fire station, for all new carpet, or all new mats and the fire station, yeah.
So is that for 1 month or for the whole year?
That's the whole year.
Okay.
Yeah. That's for the cleaning and sterilization of all those mats.
Now, that's both fire and police, or just fire?
No, that's just ours, we're just on ours, yeah.
Have any of you toured the police and fire?
Nope.
Quite a while ago, but not recently.
Mary Jo did ask last night to have an official tour, and I offered today to take her through the fire station, and if we would like to have a group go, I'm more than willing to do it whenever you guys are ready. You mentioned something about maybe Monday, if that's okay?
Let me know if you're doing it Monday morning, please.
Okay. Monday morning is out because we have a department head meeting,
Okay.
so it has to be right after that.
I have to be at work at 2, so if I can do it, be at work at 2.
Yeah, we're typically done by what, 10 or so, Jeff?
Monday?
Department head meeting, yeah.
That's Tuesday.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's Tuesday, yes. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Tuesday?
Yes,
Okay.
Tuesday.
I'll check it.
Yeah, Monday's fine. If you guys wanna do it at 9 o'clock, we'll do it at 9 o'clock. Is that okay, Barb?
Yeah,
Mary Jo, you good with that?
9
Okay.
o'clock Monday.
9 AM at the new fire station. Carl, you okay with that for the police station? We'll get them through there and ship them right into the PD side, you can put them in jail.
I've been.
I know. I know. Anybody else on the finances?
Oh, there's no other questions, why, a motion to approve the bills?
I'll make that motion.
Second,
I'll second the motion.
roll call vote, please.
Ms. Little?
Yes.
Mr. Nagy?
Yes.
Mr. Villalobos?
Yes.
Mr. Caper?
Yes.
Mr. Stick?
Yes. Okay, number 14,
You saw the expenditure reports, but as of right now, we don't have any grants out. We did receive the one grant last year, for the smoke detectors, the CO detectors, and some educational stuff for kids. We are going to, team up with the trustee's office to pass out smoke detectors to people that need them, or some CO detectors. I surprised Kevin with that last night at the meeting, and he's all for it. And once we, and then if there's people that need us to actually install it, the duty crew can go out and put them up for people that are needy. That's gonna start here pretty soon. We have not received the detectors yet.
okay, staffing, volunteer, part-time, full-time updates.
Okay, staffing, as far as volunteers concerned, I have 3 in the academy. Fire academy in Valparaiso at the MAC Center. Some of their training will also be done at the St. John Training Center. The 4th one is in EMT school. He's gonna do EMT school first, and then go to the academy in August. Hopefully by the middle of the year, we'll have 3 more volunteers, and by the end of the year, we'll have a total of 4 more volunteers. We did receive we've received a couple more requests for part-time, and I think 1 for full-time. So we have some interviewing that we gotta do here pretty quick like, and I'll, once the chiefs sit down with these folks, and we'll get them grouped together and then ask for our Board of Safety members.
That was the 2 that we received in the last couple of months?
Yeah.
We received one
2 of them,
2
and
days
then
ago?
I received, an email from 2 more, that they are going to apply, wanting to know where to go and what to do, so they've been sent to, do it at the clerk treasurer's office like the board has approved.
So what,
So we should have 4 pretty soon.
do we have an answer on the, and I forget his name, the gentleman that has the Illinois?
Yes, it's Thursday, tomorrow is the Indiana Board of Education meeting, and they will render a decision whether or not he qualifies for reciprocity or not.
Okay,
Now, and the other one that's already in EMT, he's putting in an application for part-time. I don't know how you guys want to handle that because you've already interviewed him. But he's in the academy as well, but he could help us on the ambulance, as far as that's concerned, and working the, Moto on Ice, medics seat, if the board still sees fit.
we can talk about that.
Okay.
I want Ray and Wally's that tow driver that got killed's benefit, and there was a fire guy there. I won't mention any names, but he said he's talking to you about coming here.
He is, yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to mention his name, you already did. Yeah, he's reached out to us, yep. He's a good guy.
Okay, so we'll continue that at our executive session, number 16, training report.
The training for the month, Chief Bonner's got it. It's actually in the annual report that you received.
Is their annual report on here?
I don't see it.
It was sent.
But it was sent, we don't have it.
It was sent to all of you.
I got a second copy.
Yeah.
I got one last night, and it's in my Board of Safety package.
Would you guys like a hard copy of it? Our copy machine is on its last leg, so we have to put out a lot of copies. It's gonna
So do you lease that one or buy it?
We do lease it. It's due to be replaced. We've had it for 7 years, 8 years, at least 7. Jennifer usually handles the updates on all the copy machines for the city hall, or the city department, town department.
So I guess if we don't, the report's not on the computer.
That's what I'm saying, it's not here.
We may not have gotten it put in the packet that was sent to each of you individually. I don't know how that transpired.
It was sent to you too, Jeff.
Okay, well, but I don't put it in the packet.
And it was also
Yeah,
sent.
I didn't get it.
All right, well, since we don't,
I'll have to ask Sandy if she didn't send it to you. No. I'll hit some highlights on it for everybody. And this is also gonna be on our Facebook site, and it was approved last night by the council to post them on the town website as well with the police department. So both reports will be on social media, and they'll be on the town website,
That's nice.
okay?
I can probably go out to my vehicle and bring the one, I got 2 police report things in here. It's not the fire, so I'll go out to my vehicle and make you guys copies.
okay.
Thank you.
Couple things,
If you, hold on, they can get to it if you go on their laptop and hit the town council and go back.
yeah, it was.
It's on the town council, if you go back on your laptop,
Yeah, hit the arrow going back.
go to town council.
How do we go to town council?
You're expecting a lot more computer experience than.
2025.
Here we
What's
go.
it under on there, Tom?
Fire department, monthly report. Or wait a minute,
Yeah, I'm just sure I'm on the right page.
There's the FC fire department report.
There you go.
That's their annual. So the monthly
I got
total should be in there.
They never sent it to
You get it, Cheryl, on the one?
me. Yeah.
No, I wonder if you scroll down, if you can.
Well, this is what they have now.
Yes.
We're gonna go to town council.
Oh, yeah.
Chuck, was that under the packet? Or was it somewhere else? Okay. Oh, FD, there we go. I didn't see that, thank you.
Thank you.
Does Larry have it?
I read it at home, I've been through it, looked at all.
You need it?
All right, this is
I
good.
guess.
No, I'm fine.
I can, when Bob gets a hard copy, I'll read it.
Reviewed it all.
Okay.
Yeah, that's too
So-
much to read now.
What I'm seeing here is a 5% increase in calls for short service? Is that what you're showing me here?
Yep. But a 43% over the past, 5 years. Also, I want everybody to understand that we did give up an area to St. John that we did have a lot of calls every year at. It's the corridor of 109th North. St. John took that over from the township. We were averaging, around 150 to almost 200 calls a year up there. So we gave that up, and we were still up 5% on calls for the year. So if we would've still had that area, we would've been up even more, so. That has helped us, locally keeping everything, apparatus, our apparatus and people closer to town for duplicated calls. So if you look at page 17, where it says overlapping calls, understand that that's 33% of the time there's multiple calls going on. And, either we had, I have a POC call, which is paid on call guys, and mutual aid was notified. Incidents by the area, the town of Cedar Lake, there was 1,836 incidents, unincorporated Hanover Township, 185, and 161 incidents for mutual aid requests. The hot month.
That's both fire and ambulance?
Total, yep. The hottest month of the year, as far as calls concerned, was December at 215 for the month. Incidents during the week, the day of week is, Tuesday seems to be the busiest, and at 1,800 hours of the day is the busiest. A couple things about the grants. Mr. Hubenthal, the state donated $500,000 to the fire department for self-contained breathing apparatus, which the town council president came and signed the agreement with the company, and some of the equipment is starting to trickle in. Had a discussion with Jennifer today about the PO process. We cannot get a PO cut for that yet until we receive all the equipment, so we can do an inventory on it. And like I said in my email, I said to you guys, I don't wanna have her pay for it if we don't, until we get it all, so.
Chief, can I go
There
back
was
to
a
the calls
question on it.
for service activity here?
Yes, sir.
You said last year you had a 5% increase, but over the last 5 years, you had a 43% increase in calls for service? At page 17, you were telling me?
Yeah, that's what that says, yep.
And in the 5 years, you had a 43% increase in calls for service. How's your staffing gone up in that 5 years?
In 5 years, we're pretty much the same, other than we have, we were at 4 per shift, and we're now at 5 on 2 shifts, 4 on 1, and each shift has a part-time spot available.
So your staffing can handle the increase in the 43% calls for service? Is that what you're telling me? You're doing more with the same amount of guys, or do you got extra guys?
No, we're doing more, and if you go look at it, 33% of the time, we're running multiple calls. If you look at the next time, the 2 incidents at the same time, at that point in time, we can't handle the calls. We're mutuating them.
That's what I'm saying. If you got a 43% increase in calls for service, you got a commensurate increase in staffing to handle those calls?
No.
Okay, that's what I needed to hear. Thank you.
But we were approved to hire 2 last year, and I know the council's made commitments to hire more people here in the future, so we just don't know how much and when.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
One more thing. I wanted to draw attention to the EMS billing. As you can see, that our EMS billing went up 1.5%. to $481,000 collected and put back into the general fund. An increase from 23 from 474,000. That reflects basically, like I said, again, it would have been more if we wouldn't have given up that, probably that area. As you can see, the fire department generates between that and the Hanover Township budget, out of the 1.9 million, we generate, 600,000 of it almost ourselves, as far as the department's concerned, which goes back in the general fund that's used by the whole town, so.
Thank you, Bob.
Somebody did ask me where the statistics came from for our reports. Both police and fire received statistics through Stillman, in which, Cliff pulls out every month for us and does the report for us as far as the statistics. There is, the labeling and the types of calls and the types are all done within the Spillman system and are used by every police and fire agency in the county. That's where our stats come from, based upon calls.
Okay, is that it for training? Anybody got any other questions? Okay, we'll move on to number 17, equipment.
We did, like I said, we did receive some of the SCBA's, also some equipment that we bought, or we ordered early last year, as far as axes and stuff like that came in finally after being on back order for like 9 months. That's really it as far as equipment's concerned.
Okay,
We did, I'm sorry, did you have?
Go ahead, yeah, you can.
We did, during the, donation of the estate of Mr. Hubenthal, also receive a used older golf cart that they donated to us. We're waiting on some paperwork for that. It's at the station. It's not going anywhere. We're waiting on that. Also, the union, guys purchased the ATV that Mr. Bianchi gave us money for. We did ask them to switch, if we could switch from a golf cart to an ATV so that we could put an EMS cot on it, for off-road rescues.
Is that something similar to what the
It's
police?
a lot like the police departments, but it's not as elaborate, or it's not as nice as the police department. They've got a pretty nice one. This one was 10 grand. When, the police department built theirs was quite a bit more. But we actually got that on a grant. So Doug Machock did all the work on that. So this one was a donation. We haven't received it yet. It's actually supposed to be delivered today. Once we get that one and get the paperwork for both, then there'll be an official donation made to the town with the equipment, so they can be put on our equipment list and also insured by the town. But we don't have all the paperwork together yet on it, nor do we have both units yet.
Okay, under equipment, we've been experiencing quite a problem with, which is the white ambulance that you call it, with,
Yep.
the fuel pump exploded and
Yep.
and then in the process, it took out the motor, and then $33,000 later. So then, understanding through reading your text and Nick's post, what are we doing with the fuel problem, or the fuel storage, or what are we doing?
We've made numerous requests to, the Public Works Director, Operations Director, to have something done. He told me there's going to be an analysis done, so we haven't heard anything back yet.
So, being how that we just spent the taxpayers just spent $33,000 on one ambulance, and I think you put a new fuel pump on our newest one?
The council advised us they wanted that done ASAP.
Okay, and then Nick sent out something saying that Ford's recalling that.
There was a recall on it, and I'll let Nick explain it since he did all the research on it,
Okay.
and we could be reimbursed for some of it. So go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, as per the email, the recall Ford has sent out is only for the 21 and 22 model year 6.7 diesel. They're stating it's due to H deposits within the biodiesel. So in talking with owner of J&M Equipment, because again, as the council directed, to replace it either way. But we did find age deposits in the fuel filter, when they were doing a service on it, so we have that documentation. Owner of J&M stated there's a chance that we could go after them for money. Talking to another mechanic, this is actually going to get very large, just not with Ford, but with all other manufacturers in other years. The 2013, I don't see them recalling that at this point, because it's been 11 years. The ambulance is very old, so. But yeah, we'll stay in tune once we receive the letter from Ford to how we could even pursue it.
So,
Reimbursement.
being how that we've been kind of I don't think any of us knew about the older ambulance or whatever, but it's happened. So, until that diesel fuel situation is sorted out, we can, number one, if there's a credit card available, start putting diesel fuel in both ambulances at one of the gas stations around here, or either start keeping track of using out of the town's bigger tank that gets more use.
We only have one tank that we can pull diesel fuel out of at the town. That's it, one.
But doesn't the town have one that they draw out of?
Road use. Right.
Okay, so why would we continue to draw diesel fuel out of a possible contaminated tank? Why wouldn't we just, if there's a credit card available, why wouldn't we fill up both of the ambulances at one of the gas stations until this is solved? We've already spent $33,000 on what happened, so I don't think we should be using that. The ambulances are the ones that seem to be the fussiest, okay? So why aren't we, Dick put it, be proactive?
Mhm.
Why aren't we getting the town credit card and buying diesel fuel out of locally until we find out what's wrong with that fuel?
Keep in mind, there's been known problems with that specific fuel pump, the Bosch fuel pump that was put in, the Duramax's Power Strokes, and also the Cummins. Cummins actually acknowledged and changed it years ago. But Ford is blaming it on H fuel deposits when, let's face it, we all know it's an internal problem with the fuel pump. The way the bearing's set in the pump itself, it counters, and yes, dirty fuel will cause issues within that. That's why I think it's a good thing to test the fuel. That way we can be proactive in saying, hey, Ford, we tested the fuel.
So why aren't we being more proactive and not using that fuel until we get an answer on what's wrong with it? Isn't there a town credit card that we can fill up at diesel at one of the gas stations?
If you wouldn't mind making that a directive and asking the clerk treasurer for the use of that card, I'd be much appreciated. And we will do exactly what you want done.
Go ahead, Carl.
Chime in. If you're going to do that, the police department has WEX cards. They're not credit cards, they're fuel cards. I control it, I maintain it. I have since day one. It's for out-of-town training, out-of-town fuel purchases only. I'm assigned a card as the chief. The patrol commander is assigned a card, and we have 2 training cards. The town hall, town manager has a card, probably in Jen's office. The street department has a card, and I believe there is an existing card for the fire department. That card can be used at any participating station for fuel purchases.
Is that card available now?
They're always, yeah, but I think
So-
this is a decision that needs.
Board members, are you interested in making a directive until we get this fuel problem sorted out?
Yeah.
So then at this point in time, I would ask to amend the agenda to make that directive, directing the fire department to fuel both of his ambulances at a local gas station until this problem is sorted out.
Okay, so we need a motion to amend the agenda.
Correct.
We can just use other fuel for the.
Second.
You made the motion?
I did.
Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Little? Yes. Mr. Nagy?
Yes.
Mr. Villalobos?
Yes.
Mr. Caper?
Yeah.
Mr. Sting?
Yes. And now motion to direct the fire department to use, excuse me,
Wex
gentlemen,
card.
the Wex card to fuel both of the ambulances up at a local
Qualified.
facility.
A qualified station, it's gotta be a qualified?
Almost all of them are participating stations, so.
Until we get, until we figure out the analysis on the diesel fuel. Can have that motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Charlie so moved, who seconded?
I'll second it.
Barbara seconded, roll call vote.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
So, if you're gonna use this card, the funds are gonna be transferred from the fire department to the town, right?
Yeah, it
This is
documents,
not
it
taxing the
documents
town.
the card that it's used, and then she deducts it from our budget, our fuel budget.
Okay.
Now, we could use the town's overall on-road diesel tank, but we have our own separate tank down there that this problem is happening from.
So we're
Public
almost,
Works is not having the same problems, because they have a different tank.
we're almost ready to just,
Okay,
I think we'd be a lot farther off ahead just to fuel the diesel, the ambulances up until we figure out what's up with the
Okay.
fuel. So motion to direct the fire department to use the Wex, credit card to fuel the ambulances up at a local facility.
We have that already.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
And that motion was made by,
Who made that motion?
Charlie and seconded by Barb?
Yeah.
Charlie and Bart. Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Little?
Yes.
Mr. Nagy?
Yes.
Mr. Villalobos?
Yes.
Mr. Caper?
Yeah.
Mr. Stick?
Yes. Okay, so please, start filling up the ambulances at a, wherever, this,
Do we have these cards tonight? Because I'll be fueling them first thing in the morning or in the middle of the night.
whenever you can get them.
Why are you looking at me?
I'm not, I was looking at Carl.
Because you got the card.
Actually, I can,
I don't have the card.
yeah, actually, I can only see your forehead.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, so Todd, Todd,
Yes, sir.
until we figure out what's wrong with that fuel,
Okay.
just,
It's isolated to that one tank, so I mean, if we get into a situation, we could use the town's public works tank.
whichever works the best, but
Okay.
please don't use that fuel anymore.
We're not gonna use that tank anymore, no. Just, we'll use our gas tank and our,
We,
all right.
learned $33,000 later that might not work very well.
It would've been nice to know that recall before that happened.
You betcha. Okay, that was all on the equipment?
I think that's enough, don't you?
Monthly activity?
I don't think I have anything else. Monthly activities, you've got the monthly activity report from me, so if you have any questions on that. I do wanna say one, are we on other?
Not yet. We gotta go to Lexipol updates.
Okay, so we have no updates right now.
So it's just like we gotta figure out
Yeah.
quarterly or whenever to talk about policy?
We'll do that, yep.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll go to others.
Okay, the other thing is the question on Southcom dispatch. The council put to rest last night the Southcom question of whether or not we should change dispatch centers. Members of the council did visit Southcom, were impressed with the facility, and has made the decision to stay with Southcom and put the whole thing to bed. So be it, and just wanted to update you that they followed through with visiting Southcom.
Good.
6 of the town council members attended that meeting. And I discovered, that if we go to the county, a property tax would be put on the residents of Cedar Lake to help pay for that, which we don't pay to Cherville.
Bob, I would like to ask you where you got that, because I called and they said. nothing
I got that from Cherville. Right, Chuck?
Because it's the actual taxes, the 911 taxes that are spent on the facility, so.
We were told that they pay a property tax for everybody that's out.
That's okay, decisions are made, I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Austin, you was, left out, but I remembered, do you have anything tonight?
No, I have nothing, sorry.
Thank you. Town council liaison report,
I've kind of hit all mine
you already hit, okay.
in the meeting.
New building update, we planning on a tour. Anything on the sewer, what the item's doing with it, I mean the water?
Well, we got approval for a permit for the Robin's Nest update. And then we got a 30-day waiting period, that starts today.
Wow.
And, Christopher B. Burke was going to submit today, the questions that I'd asked about Paradise Cove, which I call the Lighthouse Well. And once they approve that permit, then we've got a 45-day waiting period. So,
The wheels turn slow.
yeah, but we're making progress.
Okay.
Two beautiful buildings over there.
The IDEM inspector that we've been working with, maybe working is not close to accurate, but he's been our liaison, and he's been going over all the permits and all the application. He retired at the end of last year. They do have a new technician that's reviewing our cases, and the Paradise Cove sled update, he approved that in about a week's time, where Mr. Diamond was at it for about 3.5 months. So if we can get that kind of turnover again down here, we'd be very happy.
And I also contacted State Senator Rick Niemeyer and told him what was going on, and now have been contacted by Matt Prater. And he told me basically the same thing that Kevin told us last night at our town council meeting from Christopher B. Burke.
Okay. I have a question. You said you had a Robin's Nest permit approval? Is that what you said?
We got a permit to upgrade Robin's Nest.
Okay. And then how does that advance the opening of this building here?
Because it's gonna affect, get the Crystal Oaks water tower online.
Okay, will
When
that
those
help
pumps
open the
get
building?
Eventually it will, Dave. When they get interconnected, they will.
Okay. And then this lighthouse well is a different permit we're looking for.
Yeah, Paradise Cove, or I call it the Lighthouse.
Okay, so it's a different permit you're looking for.
Right.
And how does that affect the opening of this building?
That's where we're getting water from.
That's where we're getting the water to bring to the police and fire.
So, you're saying the Lighthouse Paradise Cove hasn't been approved yet?
No,
But once it is, it's a 45-day waiting period.
correct.
So we're looking at least a couple of months before this is ready yet, still?
Correct.
Is what you're saying? And we have no idea when this Paradise Cove is gonna be approved, you have no idea?
No idea.
I'm hoping that those comments got sent to the Indiana Department of Environmental Management today, and that'll start the process, and I hope we have a good turnaround like we did with Robin's Nest.
Okay.
That's a whole,
No water lines whatsoever
What?
up there when that building was built.
So it's still gonna be a few months?
Correct.
That is if the system passes the fire protection flow test as well.
I'm gonna ask you a question really quick, I've been trying to ask for 5 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, I don't think anybody realized. You said 30 days and 45 days, do those
Well,
ones
they-
overlap, do they?
no, the 30 days is for the Robin's Nest. But I was told the one coming from Paradise Cove, when that permit's approved, I was told it's 45 days. So they're two different
Two
permits.
different things, okay, I'm sorry, Todd.
Oh, that's okay,
Sorry,
I'm
Chief,
sorry.
go ahead.
I think the 45-day extended period has to do with this particular water utility being isolated at this point from the rest of the,
The others.
System.
the rest of the systems.
Okay.
So there's a little bit more scrutiny, I guess,
Okay.
involved,
Okay, thank you.
if I understand my sources correct.
That sounds right, that sounds like it would be.
Does anybody have any other? Okay,
Norm, I may have something under other. At the council meeting last night, I was tasked with, and I know it's been on the, your guys' agenda, number of times in the last year, and, David has also addressed it, but the emergency response, manual, was, discussed last night, and, we'll be putting some effort into that, here in the next few weeks. Hopefully we have it updated and all the new contacts, and, if there's any additions, that need to be made to it, we'd like to have in the next 60, 90 days.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Okay, then I'll ask for public comment. Public comment twice. Public comment 3 times. I declare the meeting adjourned at 7:03. Thank you.